Rapper DMX, whose real name is Earl Simmons, is in critical condition here at White Plains Hospital. TMZ is reporting the 50-year-old musician and actor overdosed Friday night at his Yonkers home and went into cardiac arrest as he was rushed to the hospital.
Biden is speaking about one of the strangest events in his train wreck life.
Continue to apply that level of force to a person prone to handcuffed behind their back. That in no way, shape, or form is anything that is by policy. It's not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
Always. Krispy Kreme Donuts is making its famous glazed donut a reward for getting vaccinated.
We decided.
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of The Take. I'm your host as always, Ken Dix here. On The Take, here the hub of pop culture. You know what I mean, pop culture entertainment moments of the week. What a way we kick off The Take. But first things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Take here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is key. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on The Take. Alright y'all, let's get to the big story. The big story this week is, yes, rapper DMX is in grave condition at this moment. Hopefully, we hope things are looking up. We're putting our prayers up. We're praying for DMX as we speak. One of the greatest hip-hop rappers of the 20th century. DMX has been a staple of hip-hop. When he formed the Rough Riders and being part of that group with that song Stop, Drop, No Down, Shut, you know that song. Everyone knows that song. And DMX been a poignant figure in hip-hop, with hip-hop lyricist, master of songs. Well, let's get to the latest on what's going on with DMX with this.
Rapper DMX, whose real name is Earl Simmons, is in critical condition here at White Plains Hospital. TMZ is reporting the 50-year-old musician and actor overdosed Friday night at his Yonkers home and went into cardiac arrest as he was rushed to the hospital. His attorney wouldn't confirm the overdose, but did confirm the heart attack. Earlier this evening, personal attorney Murray Richmond said DMX was taken off life support, but late this evening he admitted he was misinformed and apologized, saying DMX remains on life support. Still, Richmond says the prognosis is not good.
It would be disingenuous of me to suggest that I'm not a worried man at this particular point.
Richmond has been defending DMX for 25 years, including on tax evasion, in which the rapper spent a year in jail.
I've been with him through thick and thick. Never thin, plenty thick.
DMX has a history of substance abuse and reportedly checked into rehab in 2019 while on tour celebrating the 20th anniversary of his platinum album, It's Dark and Hell's Hot. The rapper has been candid about his struggles with cocaine addiction and once told a reporter that he first used crack at 14 years old. Those close to him here in Westchester are hoping for a miracle.
It's going to either be a huge testimony of his if he makes it, and if he's not, we're at the end of the pandemic, and what a way to go out.
The entertainment world taking to social media Saturday. Missy Elliott tweeting prayers for DMX and his family. Academy Award-winning actress Viola Davis tweeting, praying for DMX. The artist is in rare company, one of only a few people in entertainment history with both the #1 album and movie that topped the North American box office.
Earl Simmons, DMX, in my opinion, is one of the great poets of our time. And what he had to say, if people bother to listen and they can overcome their hostility to rap, they would learn a great deal.
DMX is in grave condition. We hope and pray things are looking up, because they're saying that his brain dead activity after he was suffering a overdose and he had a heart attack. We hope DMX can come out this better. We just pray and hope. That's all we can pray and hope. Because I want DMX to live and stuff. He's a great rapper. He can say stuff that many people didn't even see that coming. But let's just pray at this moment for DMX. All right. In other news this week, Key takeaways from day 6 of the Derek Chauvin trial. Yes, Derek Chauvin, the man who I believe killed George Floyd, kneeled down and added pressure on Floyd's neck to suffocate Floyd. After Floyd said he couldn't breathe. Well, things get more intense when the chief of police of Minneapolis takes the stand with this.
Or do you have a belief as to when the restraint on the ground that you viewed should have stopped?
Once Mr. Floyd had stopped resisting, and certainly once he was in distress and trying to verbalize that should have stopped. There's an initial reasonableness in trying to just get him under control in the first few seconds. But once there was no longer any resistance, and clearly when Mr. Floyd was no longer responsive and even motionless, to continue to apply that level of force to a person prone down, handcuffed behind their back, that in no way, shape, or form is anything that is by policy, is not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
Police in Minneapolis believes that Derek Chauvin had committed murder. You could tell it was on line. It was on tape. Derek Chauvin could have stopped it, but he chose not to. He was too ignorant enough to not know better. And that's why you be sometimes when some people just don't know better. They just don't know better, and they have to learn from their own consequences and their reactions. Hopefully, Chauvin is getting that coming soon. Hopefully, he's gonna get what's coming to him. Watch that, I bet you believe. Also, in celebrity news this week, singer Mariah Carey gets her COVID vaccine shot and starts doing this.
Medical narrative, but I'm here excited, nervous, then you know what I'm trying to shot. This is distracting them from doing their job, but you know how I am, I just talk and like, Chris, I'm calming down, a little nervous, about to get the shot, but I just go in like I yes, here we are, all the way from that first post, washing my hands with rock and roll in New York, trying to encourage people to really be safe. And we're still in this battle together. Here in spirit with us. Sure. Yes. So anyway, I guess here we go. Hopefully we're going to edit this because a lot of me talking over people, but we're all used to that. So.
I want you to relax.
I'm filming. That's the problem. I'm in like my filming settings. Okay.
And just relax for me. Yeah.
All right, bro. Okay. Oh, it's only part one. It's only part one.
I'm right.
Okay. Proving my point. I am actually a vampire. Oh my gosh. Well, listen. We are hoping for the best. Encouraging you guys to
I would
do what you can. We're all in this together. As we said.
Put it together. And then you can.
Yeah, Mariah Carey singing on a high note. She's following such singers as Dolly Parton and other folks. Mariah Carey, this is her first one, but Carey should get the second dose sooner than later. And Mariah Carey tried to mobilize her vocal ability by getting the COVID shot. All right, speaking of music, like I said, this past Sunday on Easter was Versus. Versus did a Versus, old school Versus, where Earth, Wind, and Fire went battle against the Isley brothers. And these were the super groups of the 1970s, so they all came and camaraderie, together with Steve Harvey as the master of ceremonies. Well, we just showed these pictures because we don't want what happened last time when we did the Versus. We almost got the channel, that we got in trouble by YouTube. Well, you can see right here, everyone looks at a new look at Ron Isley, and some of them call Ron Isley Zaddy. Ron Isley with the beard and stuff. Even one TikToker was so impressed, she would let Ron Isley take uphanded off with this.
Who's this? I'm enjoying my Versus on this great Easter Sunday, hallelujah, and this motherfucker's on the couch, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm waiting, where's Ron? And it took me 10 minutes to realize
thirst trap. Ron Isley got these women going crazy, and Ron Isley is entering his 80s. He don't even look like he 80. He look like he's 60, but good. He look young. He got a beard now, so I guess he know what he doing. Even these Twitter posts is right here. Everyone on Twitter are reacting to Ron Isley with a beard. All right, Ron Isley know what he doing. I'm telling you right now, he know what he doing. All right, on talk shows this week, on Jimmy Kimmel continues to poke fun at former President Donald Trump and saying that the former president complains about cancel culture. And he wants everyone canceled. And Jimmy gives highlight on that with this.
All of the Major League Baseball has decided not to have the All-Star Game in Atlanta this summer in response to the new law they passed in Georgia that tries to discourage people of color from voting. Baseball did the right thing and pulled the game, and now the Red Hatters are mad at them, including Tanny Ramirez, who released this strongly worded statement. Baseball is already losing tremendous numbers of fans, and now they leave Atlanta with their All-Star Game because they're afraid of the radical left Democrats who do not want voter ID, which is desperately needed to have anything to do with our elections. Boycott baseball and all of the woke companies that are interfering with free and fair elections. Are you listening? Coke, Delta, and all? Now, Donald Trump calling for a boycott of Coca-Cola is beautiful. He had a Diet Coke button on his desk in the Oval Office. The man urinates aspartame, okay? And it's especially funny because with all his complaining about cancel culture, this guy has tried to cancel more culture than anybody ever. If you listen to Donald Trump, you'd have to cancel baseball, Coke, Delta Airlines, Viacom CBS, Citigroup, Cisco, UPS, Apple, Macy's, Univision, HBO, Oreo, Rolling Stone, Fox News, Starbucks, Geico, Goodyear, Amazon, AT&T, the NFL, T-Mobile, Harley-Davidson, Nike, Comcast, and Merck, which happens to make Propecia, the drug Donald Trump takes to slow his balding down. What are the chances that Donald Trump actually gives up Diet Coke or his bald head medicine? None. But he wants you to. And in fact, because it always goes like this. This is something Stephen Miller tweeted today. I just had a terrific meeting with the president, not President Trump. Stephen Miller is not using Propecia, but Donald Trump is drinking a Diet Coke hidden behind the phone on his desk. Isn't that the best? Cheer up, Republicans. You can't watch football, baseball, or basketball, or NASCAR anymore, but you can still watch Trump play golf and drink Coke.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel named all the companies in America who Donald Trump thinks that should be canceled. All of them ain't gonna get canceled. It's just the way how some people do and how your motives is and stuff. And how I think he's talking about Dr. Seuss, Mr. Potato Head, and everybody else. You don't know. It's just that's not all Dr. Seuss is getting canceled. Not all Mr. Potato Head gets canceled. It's just Potato Head, and just people just find some way to cancel people for no apparent reason. But that's just how it be sometimes. It just you try to cancel somebody for the hell of it. So here's what it is. All right, on Tucker Carlson tonight, Piers Morgan coming with his crusade against Meghan Markle. You know that crusade that cost Piers his job and Meghan Markle, that do tell-all with Oprah and stuff. Well, Piers appeared on Tucker Carlson tonight, and this what happened.
Piers Morgan is back on the air, picking up where he left off, slamming Meghan Markle and cancel culture in a new interview with Tucker Carlson.
It's completely baffling to me. So what is happening to our democracies when people feel so cowed by the fear of the woke mob?
It's the first sit-down for the controversial talk show host since he stormed off the set of his Good Morning Britain show last month.
What I was witnessing was the most extraordinarily disingenuous smear hit job on the royal family, on the Queen, on the monarchy, and frankly on Britain, my country. And I was not going to have it.
More than 60,000 viewers complained about Morgan's treatment of Meghan Markle in the wake of the bombshell Oprah interview. Morgan says those callers included the Duchess herself.
I was under attack from Miss Markle, both directly to my boss and to the government regulatory body, under attack to basically conform to her version of events. And I had to believe her. And if I didn't, I was a callous racist. It's not really about Meghan Markle. She's what she is. She's a delusional duchess who's on the make and wants to make millions, hundreds of millions off her royal titles whilst trashing the royal family and everything it stands for. Fine. It's really about free speech.
He says in his opinion, Meghan made 17 claims that are now in dispute.
17 different claims by the pair of them have now been proven to be either completely untrue or massively exaggerated or unprovable. And I don't understand really why I should have to believe people who are not telling the truth.
Greater than any fairy tale you've ever read. Yeah.
Greater than any fairy tale.
Yeah, Piers saying that he feels like he's been blackballed by everybody because he's speaking out against Meghan Markle. Well, Piers, everybody's just Sharon Osbourne been blackballed and everybody else. So hey, it is what it is, man. You just have to learn how to deal with it and move on. You got enough money. Like I said, you got enough money saved. So hey, he should be good. He should be good. He should be okay. Piers ain't the only one. Yeah, you privileged. Speaking of that, President Biden's son, Hunter, has released a new book called The Good Things of Memories, where he appeared on CBS's Sunday Morning, and you won't believe what Hunter Biden has said about him having a relationship with his sister-in-law. Take a look.
Biden is speaking about one of the strangest events in his train wreck life, his affair with his brother's widow.
A lot of people look at that and think, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Both of us had gone through the most incredibly painful loss. And it was out of love, and I thought that maybe that love would bring my brother back.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work.
In the middle of that, did you think about how your own kids would look at this?
Yeah, and it was hard. That's all I can say. It was really hard.
Hunter began seeing Hallie Biden after his brother Beau's death from brain cancer. He was still married to his wife, Kathleen. He was interviewed by CBS This Morning's Anthony Mason in advance of the publication of his book, Beautiful Things. He also spoke about the taboo affair on CBS Sunday Morning.
When the news of that broke, how did people look at you?
I think people were confused by it. And I understand that. I mean, I really do. To me, it's not something that is difficult to explain because it came out of a real overwhelming grief that we both shared. And we were together and trying to do the right thing. And that grief turned into a hope for a love that maybe could replace what we lost. And it didn't work.
Relationship expert Dr. Wendy Walsh.
It's so understandable how it can happen. When two people have both suffered a loss together, there often is a time of bonding. In this case, the relationship was short-lived, but plenty of these relationships can last a lifetime.
Hunter Biden says he was drinking a quart of vodka a day and smoking crack around the clock. He blames his downfall on losing his mother and...
I mean, Hunter said it was confusing. It had to be confusing because who in their right world wanted being engaged in a relationship with their sister-in-law when their brother just died? I know both of them are suffering the loss and suffering guilt, but it don't take that. You know, look for it, and then you got the one. Did they have the Bobby Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy? It just gets weirder and weirder, but that's what a lot of people are saying. So, it's just weird. And he said he was confused. How can you be confused? You knew better. You knew better. You knew better. And she knew better. She should not even pursue that, even let you pursue that on. Just people just getting weirder and weirder. But hey, it is what it is. Ugh. All right. On Jeopardy this week, well, Aaron Rodgers, I meant to say, the Green Bay quarterback from the Green Bay Packers. Well, he was doing a host of duties for Alex Trebek since Alex Trebek passed away. And he was doing a guest hosting debut. And a contestant makes fun at Rodgers against his loss against Tom Brady. Watch this.
Champion on the end. Scott, did you come up with the correct response? Who wanted to kick that field goal? That is a great question. Should be correct, but unfortunately for this game today, that's incorrect.
Woo! And the 37-year-old Green Bay quarterback introduced himself as a lifelong fan of Jeopardy and said he was an incredible guest host. I mean, do he see himself entering football? Let's hear what Rodgers had to say about that. Well, it is what it is, but I don't see Aaron Rodgers being host of Jeopardy. I just don't. It don't seem right, but he might think so, but I don't. He still got enough miles left in him, but I say about average quarterback be like 40, something like years old. But Tom Brady's still going, so Tom Brady might go until he 50. I'm just saying you. Tom Brady can go. Aaron Rodgers just doing the football thing because he just looking for another job, and he looking at football, looking at Jeopardy as his lifelong dream. All right. Do what you gotta do, man, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. That's just me. All right. Don't go anywhere. The Take will return after this. Your host as always, Ken Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Take. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Take here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Take. Man, what a show we had the first half of the Take. Let's get to the second half with the political rundown. The political rundown this week. All right. Reactions continue after the MLB moves the All-Star game out of Georgia over voting law. Now, many of you may not know that the controversial voting law that Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp made was for lines and stuff to respond to what happened when Biden and Ossoff and Warnock won their races, the respective races, and Georgia now trying to find a way to combat it, and saying that people again can't put mail-in ballots in no more. You got to come on in, and you can't get food or water, which that's crazy. If you're in a long line, what you gonna do? Most people be hungry and be so animated. So that was crazy on his part, but I just don't see it. He don't make no sense. I think it just, if he was gonna do that, he should have just did it for Trump. He should just cheat. If he was gonna do that, be obvious about it. It's crazy. I guess they probably didn't like Trump. They wanted to say, we'll get rid of him, and then we'll have someone come on here. I know what's going on. I know what's up. So it was what commendable for MLB to move it out of Georgia if they feel like Georgia didn't do what it needed to do. And two, it's a political statement as well. And as well, they moved it to Denver, Colorado, so it'll be going to Denver. So that's what it is. Also, new report shows 900,000 jobs have been added as March as Biden push for his massive $2 trillion American Jobs Plan, which faces a partisan bill on Capitol Hill. Let's take a look.
Bill, the $2 trillion package, which faces a partisan battle on Capitol Hill, coming as new jobs numbers signal hopeful signs for the economy. Here's ABC's Mary Alice Parks.
Tonight, despite American businesses optimistic. A new jobs report showing the nation added more than 900,000 jobs in March, with strong gains in hospitality and food service. Still today, there are nearly 8.5 million fewer jobs in the U.S. economy compared to a year ago. That deep hole, one reason President Biden is casting his new infrastructure bill as a jobs plan.
It's a blue-collar blueprint for increasing the opportunity for people.
The enormous $2 trillion proposal calls for rebuilding roads and bridges, expanding broadband, and replacing lead pipes. By one estimate, it could create 2.3 million jobs by 2024. To help pay for it, the president would pare back tax cuts to corporations put in place by President Trump. But that's a deal breaker for Republicans.
The last thing the economy needs right now is a big whopping tax increase on all the productive sections of our economy.
The president Friday saying he's still hopeful there's room for compromise.
I think the Republicans voters are going to have a lot to say about whether we get a lot of this done.
Yep. The Republicans ain't going to vote that in because they going to be stalling and not landing in as they go. But, you know how that be. Sometimes Republicans just play hardball from being nice. Speaking of Republicans, Mitch McConnell urges Republican men to get the COVID vaccine. They the main ones that be holding them back. They don't want to get it. They feel like it's a hoax or something. Like everything else is a hoax. Everything ain't no hoax, but let's take a look what Mitch plea was with this.
I'm a Republican man. I want to say to everyone, we need to take this vaccine. What's the final challenge? That's why we're here today, is to get the shots in the arms. And you've done a spectacular job here of getting an enormous number of people vaccine shots in arms on a daily basis. But alas, I read stories that there are some people who are reluctant to take the vaccine. For example, I saw on some program last week that Republican men, curiously enough, might be reluctant to take the vaccine. I'm a Republican man. I want to say to everyone, we need to take this vaccine. These reservations need to be put aside, because the only way I think we get to finally put this pandemic in the rearview mirror is with herd immunity. And what would that figure be, Mark? 75% of us need to take this vaccine. I'm not sure where we are in Kentucky right now. Do you know?
I think we're in the 30%.
Yeah, so we got a ways to go.
Yeah, Mitch's plea was that they ain't gonna get it, but it's just weird and weird. People just getting crazy. Just especially Republican men. They're the craziest. Ugh. And also, many people are talking about First Lady Jill Biden wearing pantyhose. I think people are going nuts, for real, for pantyhose. Ugh, they going crazy. It's just crazy. All right, let's move over to the reality show clip down. The reality show clip down this week. Rapper Bad Baby made over $1 million in her first OnlyFans account. Man, she made $1 million in her first OnlyFans account. She must be doing something right. Even Dr. Phil would agree. She made that appearance on Dr. Phil and stuff. We can forget about that. Yeah. All right. On the Real Housewives of Atlanta, things get messy when Marlo inserts herself in Portia and Kenya's drama with this.
The person that we talking about ain't got nothing to do with you. I definitely feel like Marlo has put herself in the middle of this whole Kenya and Portia mess unnecessarily. Nobody asked her to be in this. You just move forward with both.
All right, so both of y'all, Portia, I love you to death. She would never be able to have me cross you no kind of way. Kenya, I'm moving baby steps with you. But I love where we're at, and it feels good. Like I told Portia. Tell the truth. Tell the whole truth. I know that Portia told me it did not happen. That's why are you dragging? Because I'm into. Okay, so let's be free. That's not free. You can't have a conversation. That's nasty. You're running around saying this shit. So you got to listen to me saying, wow. I'm Okay. So you go ahead and say. But you leave her name alone when you talk to me. You don't say about. I don't have anything to say. No, but I'm saying both of y'all have me in an uncomfortable position. I'm not having you. I didn't talk to you about this. Both of you mother talk to me about each other when I wasn't there. Okay, because I'm not in my. So, I'm not. That's what I'm address each other and stop running around this hours. Calm down. What's happening? Bring it down. I'ma do you. I'ma do you. And I'ma do you. Good night. But y'all fake asses. Good night. Do with you. Good night.
Yes, Marlo trying to insert herself, trying to push herself, being an instigator. Now, Marlo was trying to act like she was Portia, then act like she was Kenyan when they habits and stuff. She just, like they said, Marlo was yelling, screaming. She came, she conquered, and she delivered. She out. Out in the brick. You know, they go brick, 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 brick. And the way she said, she's like, I'm gone. Okay, go. Ain't nobody hurting you. Yeah. All right, on news this week. Man, have you seen this? Yeah, it's just wow. It's a wow, like a crash pad. Woo! It's like every time, if I was in that neighborhood, I said, fuck it. You know what? I'm moving. Because every time something happens, it's a crash. Even the dryer, even be like, you know what? I'm glad nobody didn't they need to move. They need to move bad. And that's near Miami too. Ooh, good God. No way. No way. I'm done. I'm like, I'm moving. Once that first incident happened, it can happen over and over again. I'm done. Ooh. All right, and finally, the viral video of the week. The viral video of the week is Krispy Kreme donuts gives away free donuts for this.
Krispy Kreme Donuts is making its famous glazed donut a reward for getting vaccinated.
We decided we would give everyone a free donut any day, every day if they want, between now and the end of the year, just for showing us their vaccination card.
That's right. If vaccinated, you can get a free donut every day until the end of the year.
Here you go.
Those who are vaccinated and can enjoy a donut are delighted. But the donut chain is also getting slammed by some who say it's promoting obesity.
Like all indulgent snacks, this is one enjoyed in moderation. We certainly don't expect people to come every day.
The ladies of The View had other ideas to spur vaccinations.
I think that, like, the Olive Garden should give me unlimited breadsticks if I get the vaccine.
Also, you know what would help if they would attach the stimulus checks to the vaccine, okay? You're not going to get your check unless you get the vaccine. I bet you that would work.
This Krispy Kreme customer thinks the free giveaway may be less about vaccinations and more about, well, making dough.
I think it's a great business proposal because who's going to come in for one donut? It's not going to happen, right?
Yes, Krispy Kreme give away free donuts for people who took the vaccination. Good, look out for Krispy Kreme. But a lot of people saying promoting obesity. Hey, that's how some people is. Some people like to eat donuts on the side for their own pleasure. Not that big. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching this edition of The Take. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, for The Take for Thursday, April 8th. 2021. See you next week for another edition of The Take. See you later.